Ho ho ho, and welcome to the 22nd episode of the United Codes Advent Calendar. Today we're going to look at the Logger framework. And first off, we have Apex Debug. Why do we want a Logger framework? This can have multiple reasons. For once, Apex Debug logs a lot of Apex internal stuff. We might not be interested. And if you do a lot of database heavy development, you might want a different kind of solution that stores the logs in a way that you can read them easily. Also, you have processes that are not triggered by Apex, like jobs or APIs, and you still want to log in. And the logger from Aura open source, it's been out for years and years. It's, I think, the most used logger framework. And I just want to quickly show you how great it is. So I prepared a small package. This is actually from a real life scenario where we want to pass a date and then time windows, like from 0 to 9 o'clock and from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. And this basically, you want to maybe run heavy reports, for example, outside the office hours. So you want to only allow executions in these time windows. And then the user wants to print now, but then you calculate if it's actually allowed. And if not, you get the date of the earliest or the next in time window date back. It's a pretty complicated function here. We're not going to go through it, but what we have here is logger calls. So first we have a scope prefix. This is just a package name that's automatically computed. Then we have like a scope in the function. This is a function name. We have a params variable, an array from the logger package. And then in the function, we start off logger append param to log the parameters we get into the function. And then we're going to call logger.log start, going to pass the scope and the parameters. And this is just a best practice. You can see in the GitHub, there's a best practice page. And then in here, we just log a lot of stuff. And this is a nice thing. This also has a behavior of documenting your code, because like logger calls give you context. So here, for example, I have just an if. It doesn't save much for itself, but like the logger log here can be end time is on the next day. So instead of commenting, we can just log information. A lot of stuff going on. Notice how here is a return, an early return. And here we just, log something, also append the return parameter. And logger log end, also in the lower half, here's also an exit with a return. We also do the same, logger log end. And also we have an error handling mechanism. So let's see this in action. So I prepared some calls. So first we pass a date, Christmas day, at least in Germany, at 12. Is it PM or AM? I'm not sure. And then we have these windows. So looking at this, like 12, the next date should be just 6 PM in the afternoon. And so let's run it. And then we can query our logs table, and we can see a history of all our logs. And the cool thing is we have a start. So we go bottom to up, and we have like time. So we can exactly see how long does this function time took. We also have like the scope. We only added the scope to the start and the end of the log. So we could have added it to everything, but like in most cases, it's not, we don't need to add it everywhere. We get more information from where did I call this, an action ID. So we know it's tied to the same sessions, action, username, call stack, unit name, line number, super useful. And in here in the extra, that's what I really like. Here we get just one club of all the parameters. So we can see we called the function with these parameters. And also in the end, as we added the return also to the parameters, you can see, okay, just glancing through the logs, this is what the function returned. So if there's an issue for some users, you can just go through these and just see, oh, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. And then you can look deeper. So in here, so we can see, we pass them, then we parsing the time windows to the dates. Then pass date is not in the time window, calculate earliest time in the window. So, okay. And in the end, we come up with our date. So yeah, this is really useful to monitor your application to see if everything is fine. Here's another one where here I pass 10:30 p.m. but like from the Windows, the next one is actually the next day. So this ends before this. So this should be like on the 25th. And we can call that logger logs. And we can see quickly in our end that indeed our return value is the 25th at 3 a.m. So super powerful tool. If you add this to a lot of paths in your code, also if you run into exceptions, you can go through all of the states in your database. And even what I didn't show you yet, it has nice utilities. For example, the procedure log user env that logs all the user environment variables. Same with CGI env character codes. So if there are some issues maybe with different character code settings on the user. And for Apex, super nice, log Apex items. And this just one procedure to log all the session state information you would get from the developer toolbar. And that makes your life easier to get the information, to just try to replicate an error, to have all the state information of the user. And yeah, super useful framework. Check it out. I really love it and use it a lot. Come back tomorrow where I show you a trick. So this is obviously more for, not for developing, but for monitoring. But like I have a nice tip how we can maybe look a little bit deeper in the code and try what it does and test it out while developing. So see you tomorrow. Thanks.